Are you looking out for some parenting hacks to help you calm your crying toddler? Or maybe your crying infant. How do you soothe your crying infant? Or how do you, your infant is just not taking the feed, and how you can do what you can do at that point of time. Or your toddler is rolling on the floor crying in that supermarket or in front of guests, in front of your friends. So how can you, what are some parenting techniques that I can, or some kind of tricks that I can implement at that point of time? Or are you even looking for some parenting tips that help you make your child obedient? Right? Right when you say, come, it's meal time, you expect your child to walk and come to the meal table. Or maybe your child has been playing in the park, in the play area, and you want him to return at a certain point of time. You're calling him, and boom. If he doesn't do that, then you've started to threaten. From tomorrow, if you don't come right when I call you, I'm never going to get you back to this park. Or if you don't come with me right now, the security person will take you away. Right? So yes, you do various kinds of things. Each one does various kinds of things. The main thing is, again, as I keep repeating in every talk of mine, is you have to be aware of what you are saying to your child. Right? There are tens and hundreds of statements that parents use, but what is it that you are using to your child? Come into awareness of that statement. Hey there, this is Sujaya, and in this episode, let's talk on why parenting tips, tricks, techniques, or hacks do not actually work for you. Why they're not right for you. Now, let's go into the basics, right? So all these parenting tips and hacks that you read on internet, right? Maybe from your Google answers, there are hundreds of questions, not just hundreds, there are thousands and thousands of questions on Google. How do you calm your toddler? How do you make your toddler feed? How do you make your infant finish the meal? How do you talk to your child so your child listens to you, is obedient to you? Yes, you just type out that question and you have thousands and thousands of results for that question. Right? There are answers everywhere. There are suggestions everywhere, from Facebook, from people around you, from internet, from all around the place. But do they work for you? Do they work for you? Do they work for your child? Your child is unique. You are unique. The combination of this child, you and your child is unique. Then how can any kind of random tip, trick, technique, or hack, how can it work for you in your case? You need to come up with a unique solution in that at that point of time. Right? So is it actually possible? How can I come up with solution? I am the one who's going through the problem. I need help from everywhere around me. Yes. Yes, dear parent, you need help. You can seek out for help. But the ultimate decision that you are going to take at that point of time, whether I will follow this suggestion that this article is asking me to do, depends on you and your level of awareness. Depends on your value system. Do you even have a value system in your life? Do you have a value system in your parenting journey? There is one parent that says force feeding your child is mandatory, or force waking up your infant is mandatory. And there is another parent who says, no, 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 you shouldn't force feed. No, 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 you shouldn't force wake up. So which one will you choose? It depends on the kind of value system that you have in your parenting journey. Whether you want to follow a suggestion or not depends on you, depends on your level of awareness. It is in your hands. Now, let's get back to the roots, right? As in every episode, let's get back to the roots. Each one parents based on the way he or she was parented, right? That means even you've been parented in a certain way. And now when you are parenting your child, most of it is drawn from the way you have been parented. That happens by default. If you would like to have parenting by design, not by default, but you would like to design the way you are parenting, then again, it is in your hands. So when each one is parenting based on the way one or he or she was parented, how can any kind of random tip, trick, technique, or hack work on this unique parent, work on this unique child? Let me tell you this, all these parenting tips, tricks, techniques, right? They give you a wow feeling. Oh my God, this child is so calm. This child listens to everything. This child is writing A to Z so fast. How did you make her write? Can you tell me some tips how you make them, how you make your child write? Oh my god, this child does addition and subtraction. Can you tell me some hacks? Can you tell me some parenting tips or study tips how I can make my child write 1 2 3 up to say 100 or 500 or 1000, or say do some addition or subtraction or write A to Z, right? Tips, 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 running behind tips. As and when you are running behind tips, you are distancing yourself from your own inner power that you have inside of you. You have an inner power inside of you that's actually giving you a solution, that's actually giving you an answer. Yes, let me get back to it a little later. So, yes, what do these tips, parenting tips, tricks, techniques, and hacks do? They give you a wow feeling. Type down wow if you've understood this point. Oh my God, she's telling that story so good. She's reciting that story so well. Oh my God, she's coloring between the lines, and she's just maybe 3 year older for you. Oh my God, she's drawing so well. What kind of parenting tips do you use? How do you approach your child to do this? What do you say to your child to make her listen to you? Right? Have you had such questions? Then stop questioning around you and start questioning your own self. What do you want to do from what do you want to have from your child? Why do you want to have it from your child? Right? And then what usually happens again is these parenting tips. Suppose there is a tip, suppose you've been giving a tip for your child to listen to you at that moment of time, right? Maybe you are calling your child for lunch, and then your child is not coming to you. So, or you want your child to clean up the place. Your child doesn't seem to be in that mood. There could be some tips like you keep praising your child, so your child keeps doing it, right? Some kind of tips that are again doing their rounds, doing their viral rounds on internet, right? And then every time you want your child to clean up, every time you got to praise your child, right? You are in that jinx of the moment now. And then what happens in this situation? The parenting tip, trick, technique, or hacks, whatever they are, they focus on what outcome you are creating at that point of time. You want your child to listen to you, boom, you will get a tip. Yes, you will get a tip. From internet, you will get hundreds and hundreds of tips. But if you listen to your own power, you can create hundreds and hundreds of tips for your own self. Right? That's the focus here. Yeah. So you want your child to listen to you at that moment. Yes, you get a tip, and your child is listening to you at that moment. Right? You want your child to write A, B, C, A to Z at that point, at that time. Yes, you get a tip. Maybe threaten or compare or use some nice words, pleasing words, whatever it is, whatever you are saying to your child. And yes, your child will write A, B, C, to Z at that point of time. So the parenting tips, tricks, techniques, and hacks, they focus on bringing an outcome at that point of time. And remember, just because your child has listened to you at that instance of time, at that moment of time, it doesn't mean that there is a long term positive outcome, right? You're just getting things done by your child at that moment, but you don't even know how far damaging these phrases, these comparing phrases, or these statements that you use to your child to get things done, how much damage they do to your child's subconscious. And it is going to stay in your child's subconscious even when your child is a 20-year-old or 30-year-old or 40-year-old, right? So when you are going deep within yourself, or you have a value system, or you follow parenting principles, that is when you are no more attached with the outcome that you are seeing at that moment, but you have a long term focus. You have a long term vision. Say your child needs to complete his homework, and yes, you get parenting tips to make him finish the homework right at that point of time, or some kind of project work, or some kind of building work. And then in that hurry, maybe you are also doing say 50% or 60% of the work that's supposed to be done, that needs to be done, right? And then that is what the child is learning. So through all these experiences that you are giving to your child, the statements that you are using, the phrases that you are using, all these through all these experiences, your child is learning that okay, This is life. Let me just finish this writing of A to Z in say 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and then I can watch 2 hours of videos. Yay! Yes, you offer bribe or you use threat, or the child just thinks that, okay, let me just do this. My mother will feel happy about it. Let me just get over this, right? Yeah. So these parenting, again, these tips, tricks, techniques, or hacks, they help you to get a favorable your a favorable result according to you, something that's favorable to you at that moment. But it need not be favorable to your child. It could be damaging your child, right? It could be damaging your child. But if you follow a set of a set of values and a set of principles, that is where you are making the foundation strong and you have a positive, long term positive outcome. Even though the child has not listened to you right at that moment of time, even though the child is not writing A to Z right at that point of time, there is a long term positive outcome. Your child has not associated writing to getting a reward of video time, of screen time, right? Your child has not associated eating or finishing his meal with getting some junk or getting some sweets, right? So, yes, so all these parenting tips, tricks, techniques, and hacks, they seem to be working for everybody out there. But sometimes, did you also wonder this? Did you also have this question that, oh my God, something, all this is positive, positive thing, all this positive, positive thing, it's working for everybody out there, but not me. My child just doesn't listen to me when I do that, right? My child just doesn't come to me when I implement that. I'm trying to be positive, I'm trying to be patient, I'm trying to be calm, I'm trying to be all that. I'm listening to all these, but no, it's not working out. It's not working out. That's because this brings us to the most important point here, that each one acts according to the level of awareness he has at that point of time, plus the thoughts that he is carrying at that point of time, plus the conditioning that has happened upon him on his subconscious until that point of time through all the past experiences, right? So when you have acted in a certain way at this point of time at point A, that is, that depends on, so you have acted in a certain point of, it's not wrong, remember, it's neither right nor wrong. It was the best that you could do. It was the best that you could do. You acted the best according to the level of awareness that you had, according to the thoughts that you had in your mind. If you have missed my if you have missed this episode on how your thoughts, your feelings affect the way you are parenting, just go back and watch one of my previous videos, right? So whatever you are doing at any point of time is the best that you could do. But mind you, but whatever you have done, it is either in alignment with what you intend to do, or it is not in alignment with what you intend to do. So sometimes this also happens that I did this, I actually didn't want to do it, I didn't mean to do it, but I just did this. I didn't mean to hit my child, but I just hit her. I didn't want to hit my, and maybe you are also telling your child, I just don't want to shout at you, but I'm ending up shouting at you, right? That means there is a misalignment between what you are doing and what you truly want to do, what you intend to do. That means, so whatever you are doing is, yes, whatever you've done is the best. Again, it is the best. Don't beat up yourself. Don't beat up yourself. Don't put yourself into a blame. Don't blame yourself, right? I'm always doing this and all of that stuff, right? When you are blaming your own self, you are passing on the blame to your child. Again, very, very important. So whatever you've done at that point of time was depending on the level of awareness that you had at that point of time, the thoughts that you carried at that point of time, and the false programming that has happened until then, and the false programming that has happened to you through all your past experiences. So it was the best that you could do, but it is not in alignment with what you want to do. You hit your child, but you didn't want to hit her. You yelled at your child, but you didn't want to yell at her. So what you did was the best that you could do, but It is not in alignment with what you truly wanted to do. So, how can you work this out? How can you fill this gap? It is not through any parenting tip, trick, technique, or hack. Remember, this is not through any kind of parenting tip, trick, technique, or hack. These parenting tips focus on only the immediate outcome at that point of time. You do this, you say this, you use these phrases, you get your child do what you want him to do. No, so this gap can be filled only by imbibing or implementing certain parenting principles and values in your life. It doesn't happen over the air. This gap cannot be filled through any of your parenting tips that you have on the internet or from people around you, right? It's for you to dig into your own self and get into and know what your level of awareness is, what your thoughts are, what your beliefs are, and how you've been falsely programmed through all your past experiences. This is a major crux of of being a successful parent. There's nothing more to it. It's just about you. It can happen only by you, and it can happen only when you work on your own self, not through any parenting tips, tricks, techniques, or hacks. So the next time you are in any conflict, just just forget about that some kind of shortcut tips that you have that you could use at that moment, but just see where it is coming from. Just look at the first, identify the gap that you have at that point of time, and then the next step could be how you can fill in that gap, how you can work on yourself and be that successful and genuine parent to your child. So, what is the action step for this episode? There's a link given in the description box below where you can download your free copy of Power Parenting Model, as well as there is also a link where you can meet me live. Just register for my upcoming workshop, and I'll meet you live to help you implement these parenting principles and values that are very unique to you and your child, through which you get your answers, you get your solutions just from within you. And that's your inner power. Yes, you have an inner power. Cheers, take care, bye bye.